It is about the Association of Vancouver Island Social Communities Conference, April 14th through 16th. I guess I can move that. Whereas the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities Annual Conference is April 14th through 16th in Nanaimo, therefore be resolved that Tahsis Council send the following delegates. Does anyone want to put their name forward to attend? I know that Martin already has, so I'll put MD in here. And as I am on the executive board of the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities, I am already intending to attend. Would any other councilors here go? I believe that we have the program available. I think that it's important to note, even though there's study tours on the Friday, one is an amenity tour of Nanaimo and the other one is the waste management facility, which is, I hear, state of the art. I find that the thing that I am most interested in signing up to go to is the legislative reform initiative. And so that is something that was charged for at last AVICC, where you had to pay additional to go to it, but now they've decided to make it open because it is something that is affecting every municipality, not only the ones in the AVICC region. So, discussions.
If you're not going to supply the village with reports from these trips that you take, then I don't think you should go.
What would you like to know?
After you get back from the conference, you issue a report to this village how they benefited by us taking our tax dollars and subsidizing your trip to go there. If you are refusing to supply reports based on your trips to Whistler or Vancouver or UBCM, then we, the taxpayers, would like to think that we're going to get some benefit out of it, and we would like a report from you concerning what is in it for us and why we spent thousands of dollars to send councillors on a trip that refuse to give any kind of report or even let the villagers know how much was spent on the trip. So until that behavior changes, I'm not in favor of any councillor or mayor basically traveling out of town unless they are prepared to issue a report after that conference to tell the taxpayers what they're getting out of it.
Do you know what legislative reform is? Question?
I don't have to answer.
No, you don't. It's fine. So, for anyone interested in legislative reform, they will understand.
Yes, I understand. Carry on.
You know, the area association and further the provincial board of the UBCM, Union of British Columbia Municipalities, put on these conferences, which are members-based associations of which we are members of them, do so that communities can share best practices with each other. When one community has a state-of-the-art landfill and the other one is almost filled, they benefit from discussing things. I understand that it is unclear to many of the Tahsis residents what exactly they get out of participation on the area association or provincial board. I know that in participating and making the provincial board and further the Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities Area Association aware of issues in Tahsis, it benefits us when they understand what it's like here.
Okay, can I have a comment? I'm not actually saying these conferences are a bad thing. I think they're great. But if we're going to send somebody there, hang out, learn things, but not be willing to share it with the taxpayers, then I'm against any councillor going from this village until there's accountability and we come back with a report saying, hey, I went to this conference, I found out about this is how it's going to benefit the community in the future, and virtually, then we get the sense of we're getting good value for our money. But when you come back and you basically refuse to answer questions from your trips, then why would the taxpayers want to pay for that?
I think you should go. You do an incredible job
For right
at
now,
writing reports.
Thank you. I'm unable to travel right now, due to some medical issues.
It still doesn't answer why she never answers any of our questions, though.
But thank you, Councilor Joseph.
So, if you're unable to go, we won't write you down as a potential delegate. And I do know that the meeting of other people in other communities benefits the village of Tahsis in many ways. There's an entire agenda here about municipal finance authority, or nominating committee reports, or the evolving role of municipalities in community health, or regional collaboration in the decade of climate action, or fully booked, why our libraries are booming. Shh, libraries do that. The concurrent workshops, the plenary sessions, the networking with other communities, this is important work, and I understand that we are a small community and we don't have a lot of resources. I do know that many communities are jealous of how much we bring to the table, how we're able to do so much with so little. I don't know if anyone else has any other discussion, or if anyone else is interested in being a delegate.
I have one more discussion. When our mayor basically goes on these trips, basically he comes back and he issues a report of what he engaged in these conferences and what have you. That I don't object to. But if the councillor wants to go, then I feel that they basically at least owe the taxpayers a report on what they learned, what's in it for the community, and why they went, and hopefully have some benefit down the line basically for our community. I said my piece.
Shall I call the question?
I just would personally like to see.
There you go. If you're available, you're welcome to. I do believe that this is an investment in our councilors. I don't know about your availability, but I think that it's important because Nanaimo is close in the sense that it's not a ferry ride to the mainland. I also know that the FCM, that's the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, we are also a member of the FCM, but it is held in Toronto, and historically the village of Tahsis hasn't sent any representatives to the conference that is for the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. We tend to keep it pretty local with area association and provincial board, the UBCM, which is in the fall, and the AVICC is always in the spring. So if you can't make it for this one, maybe think about next spring, because, you know, I'll say this, since I'm on both the board for the UBCM and the AVICC, I will say that it was much more difficult to get on the board of the AVICC. The Vancouver Island people are more, I don't know, choosy, I guess. And so it took me 4 nominations to become on the board of the Vancouver Island coastal communities. I know that it's not just about Vancouver Island and the coastal communities that are on the mainland are bringing a lot of capacity, and they have even farther to go. But what they're able to share is very valuable. So with that, I will, no one else wants to put their name on the list of delegates.
I appreciate you bringing that up, but that's a Tuesday, Wednesday.
The 14th, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. See, this is the Friday, April 14th. But, you know, I don't, even if you're busy, it's okay.
But I'm working in Campbell.
Okay, so, you know, maybe next year. And I know that the keynote address is Thompson Highway. It's going to be pretty exciting. He's someone who has a book called Permanent Astonishment.
Are you putting your name and Martin's name?
I've
Or is it Mayor?
Yeah, MD and SF is what I've added to my, whereas the delegates, unless anyone else wants to. Okay, so with that, I'll call a question.
It hasn't needs to be moved first.
Okay, so what I mean is, I move, I don't know if I can move it even though I'm calling the question. Yeah, okay, good, thanks. Move that whereas the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities Annual Conference is April 14th through 16th, 2023 in Nanaimo, therefore be
Was it the time we made our decision?